Hey everybody, here's a video on putting together this twin sweetheart bunk bed. Got this from Wayfair. Here's what it's supposed to look like. Of course it looks better when it's in color. So I'm going to do a quick video here to help some people. So first I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the stuff that it comes with. You get these pieces here, you get that drape, that's an option. The more expensive bed comes with that drape. Here's the hardware bags that came with it. You got these wood pieces here. There's a lot, so I'm doing this video. There's those wood pieces. There's these. There's more here. There's those. There's these. And then there's those. And behind here, there's these big pieces here that like come clear over to here. So my daughter Mila's room is going to get a new bunk bed. These ones here are 1 and 2. Here's where they're marked. It took me forever to find them. I'm going to actually mark these 01 and 02. I'm going to mark things with the Sharpie because if I give this bed years later to somebody else, these can fall off over time. The glue will get old and they'll just fall off. So you don't know what is 1 and what is 2. So I'm going to mark things. Okay, this is part 2 of the twin bed. So I put this together next. And I'm going to tell you some tools you're going to need. I would suggest get a hammer, like one of these rubber mallets, because they want you to take these wooden pegs and stick them in these holes right here. And you're not going to be able to stick them in very hard with your fingers. So you just grab your mallet and give it a couple taps, okay? So that's one of the tools you should need. And these screws here, I have a Chapman set, which I think is awesome. It's basically, you know, an Allen bit. So you can put that on your drill, and it makes it real easy. Because, like, for instance, this one here is not done. So there's a peg here, you know, one of those pegs that you put in the hole, and then the other part of it, well, it goes like this. So you have to turn it because these are all loose. Because I just did the front and the back. Well, that's the front, and this is the back, or that's the top and the bottom, to get all this together. And I don't have all of them in yet. So anyway, you take this screw and you put it in here like this. It makes it a lot easier if you're working by yourself. See? Now it's nice and solid. So anyway, you have to put those screws, those nuts. I mean those screws in. There's 7 on each side. So that's what that's going to look like when I'm finished. So I'll keep you updated with the next video. Alright, when you get to this step here, it'd be good to have 2 people, but you don't want to do this step. Instead, I mean, you don't want to like do this. Just get it set up like I have it right there, and then go to this step next. This step right here. Get somebody to help you, and you can put everything together. Because it's better if you have 2 people to do this. You can do it by yourself, but it's easier if you have 2 people. Because you got to worry about these 4 pegs here that are really thin. These wooden dowels, see them? You could snap those. If you're not careful, and if you have 2 people, it's a lot less likely that you're going to snap those. So this step here, you definitely need 2 people. When you get done, it's going to look like this. And what I did is I had somebody hold this piece, and then actually we had my daughter, who's only 5. She actually held this and kept this up as I put the screws in here and got this piece right here connected, and then I connected this piece. And once you have the this, and that over there connected, it was a lot easier. But you definitely need 2 people. Do not try to do it by yourself. You're just going to get mad and swear. So anyway, that's what it looks like. In here, that's what that looks like. That's what that. There's one of those bolts and those like half moon nuts that go there, and then in here is this is one of the long screws. That's a long screw, and that's one of those. And this one here is the bolt that goes to the half moon. So that's pretty much it. I'm trying to keep this short. So here's the next step. You don't need 2 people for this. Okay, I'll show you the trick. Here's what you do. Okay, so this side here, that side there, which is the lighter side, what you do is, since you just put these on, back these out a little bit, loosen them up. Still keep them attached, but just back them out so you have some space here. That way you could put the bottom one and the top one in. Because if these are tight, there's not enough space to fit this in when you have the pegs sticking out, because the pegs are going to give you problems. Another thing too is, notice I had 2 pegs here that I don't know if you can tell in the photo, but like the front's mushroomed. You see that? That's not a point. You see how that one here, this one here is more of a point to it. So if I need these, because they might have given me extras, I'm going to take them downstairs on the grinder and grind those down so it's more of a tip. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more like you know, like, so the head is more like that instead of flat like that. So anyway, just be aware, because if you try to pound these in, you'll ruin them. And I don't know how many in this big bag that they gave me. Anyway, so that's the next step. So I'm gonna tighten this together. That's what it looks like. So okay, for this next step, you're gonna need a chair or a ladder. The next step was actually putting this on, which is pretty easy. It's got some screws right here. There's 3 of them. They're Phillips. You need a ladder because you're going to put these long pieces on here, and they go up from here over to here. So remember when I told you to keep these loose? Keep them loose. Don't tighten them. Because I tightened them and I had to loosen all 12 of them. In fact, one of them over there, like, they have like these hex heads. One of them rounded off. And my system here only has the clutch at 11, which is not that tough because it's basically about half, you know. So I think that these things are junk. You know, they're not the greatest. Just putting them in once made the head round off. You know, I'll show it to you. This one right here, see, sort of round. It was slipping. Shouldn't have done that. Should have done that. You know, it's cheap metal. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do next. That's what it's looking like. Oh, also too, you know, if you have a Chapman set, this is a Chapman set, these things are awesome. I have like one on every workbench. I even did a video on it. So when I put the Phillips in, all I do is take this out and put the Phillips head one in, see? It makes it so easy, you know? So, anyway. I just have to say, these 2 pieces here were the biggest pain in the butt. So what I suggest is leaving them loose there and doing one at a time, and leaving them loose here. Do one at a time. I tried to do them both at once, and it was just I said screw it, I'm gonna do one at a time, and I put them up. They were a pain. Anyway, I just want to make sure you know that. And then I'm gonna keep these loose for now because I'm just afraid of tightening anything. Seems like I tighten things and I have to re-loosen them. These next 2 steps, you put on these guardrails, which are pretty self-explanatory. You can see I put them on, they're right there. They seem to be a little bit like, not that sturdy, but I'm hoping when I put more of the wood together, they'll get a little bit more sturdier, okay? So it just shows you how to put them. And I put these shelves on too. They're right here. This came in a little bit nicked. I'll have to put some paint on there. Some matching paint if I could find some. So that's what it's looking like right now. I still have not tightened these up because I'm sick of tightening them and then loosening them. It's a hard word to say. Okay, so I did a couple more steps. This here, this number 21, I have no idea what this is. I don't see any use for it. The holes do not match up with up here. I don't know what they're thinking. It doesn't explain anything. So I held off and didn't do anything with that. So the next couple steps are right here. And as you can see, I put that up. There's 3 screws up there. And then you have to put these those 2 hinge brackets on there. They're not hinges, but they're like angle brackets, whatever. I think they could have come up with a better design than that, but whatever. So then the next step was to put this other angle bracket up here, which I have no idea what the hell that is supposed to be for. So I see no use for it. And I'm no dummy either. So I don't know what the heck they're thinking. Once again, they don't explain it. So next thing is put these M things down, these things here, which you can see I put down. So it's a little bit difficult doing the top one by yourself, okay? But you can do it. So the bottom one's fine. So the top one, you get down to here, and as you can see, it doesn't match up because of the railing, see? So when you do that, there's a big gap over here. So you know what I did? I took that number 21, I drilled a big hole here, and drilled a hole at the other end, put a screw there, and now, instead of a big gap here, because there's a big gap here, now it's reinforced with this number 21. That's a little bit higher, but that's not going to make any difference because there's going to be a big mattress on top of here. I mean, it's just a little bit higher than this board. It's not a big deal. So anyway, I'm going to put the ladder on, and I'm almost done. So this is what it looks like now. Not totally finished. So probably 1 or 2 more of these quick videos, and then I'll string them all together, and I'll probably be done. So I'm putting the ladder together, and remember I told you about these wooden dowels that you can see there? See that one that's brown at the end? I went down and took that down to the grinder because this one was one that came in bad, and I filed it down with the bench grinder, and I did that one too. So they all fit in here. So they just give you enough, because here's the one that got destroyed when I actually put it in the wrong place and had to take it out. When you put it in over here in one of these things that has the half moon, if you put one in where the half moon bracket is, it shouldn't go there. Then you have to take it out of the hole. So I ruined one when I took it out of the hole. So there's just enough of these, and they're missing one of those kind of screws. There was not enough of those. I had to use a different one. So there's one there that's missing. And there's something else I was going to tell you besides the fact that you might have to sand down some of these dowels. See that one there? That's all burnt from my grinder. But it's going to work perfect because now it's more of a, like a point, like a bullet, instead of a mushroom. Because they did look like a mushroom cap. So over here, remember I told you this was stripped? And it is stripped because I had to take it out, because what happens is in here, in this hole here, this was stripped. So this just spun. It didn't what do you call it? Didn't catch. So that's why I sort of rounded off this hole on this head. So, and I made it worse because I had to take it out, and it did not want to come out because it was just sitting in there spinning. So what I did is I drilled another hole here, and I'm going to put a different screw in, a long one. I don't have one this long. The biggest one I have here at my house is 4 inches, and that's more like 5 inches or 6. So it's pretty long. So I gotta go get one from the hardware store that I'll put in right here. And this hole's gummed up because it's stripped. So when they probably did it at the factory, they made the hole a little too big over here. In here, they made it too big, so that's why it didn't catch, and that's why this thing ended up stripping, because it was spinning. So anyway, I just want to tell you those few things. Okay, I'm pretty much done. This is what it looks like. It's pretty nice. And daughter loves it. Remember I told you I put some numbers on some things like this. So if you want to take numbers off, just get a can of Goof Off. There's Goof Off here, and I'll do it. So sure it's not opening. Get a little goof off. Put on a towel, one of these like, you know, just a junk washcloth. And then if you don't want that number there, just go like that, it comes right off. See? You don't have to paint it or nothing. Just don't do too much, see? Pretty much gone. So, anyway, because I numbered some stuff. So that's what it looks like. Give me a like. Hi, Bubs.
Hi.
You like your princess bunk bed?
Yeah.
Yeah, you love it, huh? You just don't like it. You love it. It's a nice. Costs like $1,100 or $1,200, something like that, with tax and shipping. Maybe $1,300. So we got that this pink option thing here. You got all your stuffed animals in there?
Yeah,
I see.
Somebody's stuff.
Yeah, your blanket and matching butterfly pillows, they're coming from Australia. They're not here yet.